Hi guys, welcome to Byaoko. My name is Byaoko. If you've been a loyal follower of this channel, definitely you've noticed that we changed our name from Joan Aoko to Byaoko. So the reason why I did that is it was a little bit difficult for some of you to trace me on my social media pages because I was operating with two different names. So that's why I changed it to Byaoko so that you guys can trace me easily. And if you're new to this channel, you are very much welcome. We are all about crochet tutorials, and currently now I'm introducing these sit down crochet talks, and I hope you enjoy. So yesterday I shared with you guys on my Instagram stories, I told you that I kind of lost interest in crocheting. I don't know if at any point of your creative journey you've ever felt that you don't want to do this thing anymore. It's not like it bores you, but the energy to do it all is kind of lost. And I feel that I'm at that I'm at that point in my life whereby for now I just don't feel like crocheting, and this has been happening for the past 3 months. And I think maybe it's because I started a new business and it took a toll on me, and anything that could make my mind super engaged, I think it's something that I didn't want to engage in. So but here we are. You can also leave a comment down below and tell me if you've ever felt that way or it's just me. But I think every creative person has that creativity block at one point of their life. So I also went ahead and asked you guys to suggest for me a few sit down videos that I can talk about on YouTube, and almost 90% of you guys suggested that I should talk about on how to price your work. I think pricing your work or your product is one of the challenges every business person goes through. So that's why majority of you are asking about this question. And there's always that self-doubt, not knowing if you're pricing your work well. And so I'm here today to just guide you. This is from my own personal experience, or rather how I price my work. So I'm going to share this with you guys. I'm not an expert in this. You guys, you can also leave a comment down below and share how you price your work, and probably we might learn a thing or two. So actually, before we get to the point of pricing your work, I think it's important for me to highlight a few factors that actually influence how you're going to price your work. I hope this doesn't I hope this doesn't sound like a lecture. I hope not. I just feel like it's important for me to highlight them. So point number one is you need to consider the cost of your materials. Let's say a designer A is using a yarn worth Kenyan shillings 100 bob per ball to make a bikini, and a designer B is using a yarn worth 800 bob to make a bikini. So definitely the end product of these two designers, it's not going to cost the same because the cost of the material are varying here. I hope that makes sense. Point number two to consider when pricing your work is your target market. Yeah, so by target market, you could probably assess their financial capability. Let's say you are a student and you're making crochet, crop tops, and all that, and you've already surveyed the market and you've come to a conclusion that students are your target market. So how you price your work will really determine if these students are going to buy your work or not. Because honestly speaking, okay, I used to be a student and I know how broke students can be. So every coin matters to them. So if you price like a top, let's say your top is costing like 5,000 Kenyan shillings, do you think those students are going to buy? Definitely not. So if your target is the students, your prices need to be affordable, something that the students can afford. And also there's that category of clients who value expensive products. Okay, so if that is your type of target market, you actually need to add value to your work more, because if you expect this person to pay, let's say 15,000 for a beach dress, definitely the quality of materials, like how you take your photos, is going to matter. So what I'm trying to say is it's important for you to understand your target market. Once you get the idea of the target market, it's going to make it easy for you to know how to price your work. Okay, another factor is factoring the labor cost, and I think this is the most difficult this is the most difficult one for, I bet, all of us. Sometimes we feel like maybe you are underpaying yourself or you're overpaying yourself. I hope there's nothing like overpaying yourself if you value your work. Yeah, but yeah, factoring in the labor cost, knowing how to factor your labor cost can actually influence the final product of your work. And this is the point now whereby you are your own boss. You can pay yourself as much as you want, depending on your target market as well, and depending on how much you value your work, and depending on the goals that you have for your business. So if it's something you're just doing for fun, definitely you're not going to emphasize really on how much you really need to earn or how much you really need to charge for your labor. So the best way to go about it is to charge hourly. And I feel that most of us, sometimes we are lazy, especially me. Let me give you this example. Maybe I've started working on a sweater, and this sweater I'll end up finishing making this sweater after 5 days. But the reality is I haven't been working on this sweater for 20, like let's say 24 hours per day. Like, that's a lie, we all can't do that. But I'll end up saying that it took me 5 days to make this sweater, but in reality this is a sweater that if I gave it my all, probably it would have taken me only 5 or 10 hours to make. And that's why it's important for you to charge hourly, so that you don't end up being unfair to the client by I'm trying to avoid saying overcharging, but I'll say it, by being unfair to your clients by overcharging, simply because you really don't know how long this project actually takes to make. So this is how you to go about it. You can actually time yourself, and you don't have to time yourself like the entire time you are making this project. You can just say maybe you time yourself for 1 hour, and out of this 1 hour you'll be able to see like the progress you've made, and then maybe it's just going to guide you that this project will require this number of hours. So let's say the sweater takes 10 hours to make. Okay, 10 hours to make. So out of these 10 hours I could choose. So this is where now you are your own boss. You can say in amount you want, depending on how you value your work and the goals you have for your business. So personally, I would say per hour I'll be paying myself $5 or 500 Kenyan shillings, of which some people pay themselves 2,000, that is $20 Kenyan shillings. Okay, let me just use the dollars because some people are not from Kenya. So let's say per hour you say you are paying yourself $20. Someone else will say probably $20 is too much, let me pay myself $5. So this is not constant, so it all depends with an individual, how you value your work and all that. So another thing to consider sorry, is the quality of your work, and this is super important for every designer out there. You can't price your work up there, yet the quality of your work is wanting. And how do you ensure that the quality of your work is top-notch? It all boils down to the simple things that you do while making your project. Is your finishing perfect? Like, you have to weave in your tails, like everything is perfect, so that even when the client sees your work, they'll be like, wow, it's actually worth it. But you see, when probably you've made an item, it's dirty, it's smelly, your stitches are not well aligned, the finishing is poorly done, and then maybe you say you are selling this outfit at $300, do you think the client is going to be happy with this? Of course not. And then you'll end up spoiling the market, and probably this is the first time this client is trying a handmade product, and then they encounter this. It's going to change their perceptive of or their mentality of how handmade products are. So the quality of your product will actually determine if you're going to sell this at a higher price or at a lower price. So make sure your work is smell free, it's clean, the finishing is good, your stitches are well aligned, everything is perfect, you know. And this is also going to give you that confidence to praise your work. When you see like your work is wow, everything is of good quality, you're going to have that confidence of pricing your work, like, and getting good money out of it. But when it's the quality is wanting, actually you are also going to shy off quoting good amount for your work. So after saying all that, I know you guys, you've been waiting. So how do we go about this? So there are three ways to go about pricing your work. You can either do the cost-based pricing, which I highly recommend. So for the cost-based pricing is whereby you factor in your labor costs, your materials, you factor in the overheads, and then you add your profit margin, and then you come up with the total cost. Another second way of doing this is the market-oriented pricing, and this market-oriented pricing, it's more of a competition based. Let's say you've seen AC Crochet is selling a bikini at $30, and then Crafting Hands is selling a bikini at $20, and then you start assessing the market price and say, if these two designers are selling this much, how about I sell mine at $25? You see? But I think this is a very, very tricky option to do, especially if you are in the handmade business. Please don't do this, because the factors determine how you price your work is not constant for everyone. So why would you copy someone else pricing to suit yours? And definitely you know that everything is completely different. So I wouldn't advocate for the market-based pricing. So another third way I have seen people pricing their work is multiplying the cost of materials times 3. And I find this really challenging. The reason why I find this really challenging is because I don't know if it makes sense for you guys. I know a lot of people have been using this method, but I really find it challenging because, let's say I have made a top. Let me say I've used like winter king yarn, which roughly goes for like $1. Let me just say $1, and I have used 3 balls, so that is $300. $300, that is $3, sorry. Yeah, so that's $3. So $3 multiplied by 3, that's oh, math is hard. Sorry, that's $9. Yeah, so that's $9. So you're going to sell this top at $9. So if you deduct the cost of the actual material, which was $3, now you're left with $6. And probably this top has taken you like probably 8 hours to make. So if you divide your 8 hours, divide by the $6 that you've made, you'll end up making like $0.5 per hour or something, which is quite little in my own understanding. So that's why I feel that this method, it doesn't really work, at least for me. But you can leave a comment down below. Probably it's working for you guys. So after talking too much, I know probably you're wondering, so which is the best way to go about it? So the best way to go about this is using the cost-based pricing. So the cost-based pricing, I would want you to factor in your material cost, let's say I'm making a dress. So this dress, the material, by material I mean the cost of the yarn, because probably that's the only thing you're going to buy. I'm assuming you already have hooks and scissors and everything. So now let's focus on the yarn. So I'm making a dress as Joanne, and this dress, the material cost $50. Okay, I'll note that down. Let me just write it down. So $50 for the materials for the yarn. Okay, so now this dress, I have already timed myself, and this dress has taken me 10 hours to make. Let's say 20 hours to make, because you know dresses takes longer to make. So this dress has taken me 20 hours to make. Personally, as Joanne, I'll pay myself on the minimum $5 per hour. So let's say for dress, because sometimes they're a little bit complicated, I'll just price myself $8 per hour. So $8 per hour multiplied by the 20 hours, that's going to be $160. Okay. And then now you also have overheads, and overheads could be probably if you're paying rent, if you're not paying rent, you know, sometimes you have marketing cost. That could be any figure. Maybe let's say we can just do that at $10 probably. Let's say $10. Okay, so now we have the 50 plus the 160 plus the 10. So now that is $220. Okay, that is $220. And also you need to add a little profit at least on top of this. So how much do I pay myself? Now all this depends on you. You can, for me, I normally give myself around, depending, let's say if it's a dress, I'll just give myself, let me say $30. So plus $30, now that is $250. So now from 20 hours work, I'll pay myself, this dress is going to cost $250. I hope that makes sense. So this could be more, could be lower. So you are your own boss. You are able to play around with your figures. Yeah. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and in the next video probably I'm going to talk about ways on how you can make money out of your crocheting or knitting business. You don't have to necessarily be making the actual products, but I believe there are other ways that you need to top up with already whatever is going on with your life to enable you make a decent living. Because the truth of the matter is, it's really hard for someone to get rich out of just making the crocheting or the knitting products alone, especially if you don't have enough labor. So if that is something that interests you, like this video, please leave a comment. You know, when you leave a comment, when you like the video, it prompts YouTube to it kind of notifies YouTube that actually people are interested in this video, and then they're going to recommend it, and it's going to reach more people. So until next time, goodbye, love you guys.